Well, that's pretty rich from some of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle that we're moving to impeach President Trump before he was even inaugurated, that for his entire 4 years called him an illegitimate president and said he was selected by the Russians, not elected, and then many of them who had objected to elections going all the way back to President Bush. Look, we had some people saying that, impeachment, the Pandora's box on impeachment will be further opened by this, but the Democrats opened it, unfortunately. And in this case, we have an actual national security crisis. We have a humanitarian crisis. 40% of the girls and women that are trafficked by cartels up that dangerous journey and across our border are sexually assaulted and sold into human trafficking. It is heartbreaking. But from a national security standpoint, I'll say it again, Biden's own FBI director is ringing the alarm bells. Over 300 now individuals on the terrorist watch list, as compared to just 11 under the Trump administration, have come across our border, are somewhere in the United States. The FBI is trying to track them down. And I, for one, can't in good conscience wait until something goes boom, till we have another attack before, now we're going to take this seriously. We have to do everything we can, including our most serious constitutional power, which is impeachment.
And we have seen that pass 214, 213 late last night. We did have Congressman McClintock, who is a no vote for that impeachment, and he simply said it does not meet the standards for high crimes or misdemeanors. That's why he's a no on it, not wanting to use impeachment as a political weapon. And we pointed to the fact of one of the articles of impeachment is lying to Congress about the border being secure. He says, and I'm paraphrasing his words, but he says that that's a matter of opinion in terms of the border being secure. Could you respond to that?
Well, we know it's a lie. I mean, and anybody with any common sense knows that's a lie from Mayorkas, who lied to the Congress and lied to the American people repeatedly. And, what I've said to my colleagues, imagine an attorney general like some of these Soros-funded DAs, but imagine an attorney general that says, you know what? I'm just not going to enforce the law. We're just not going to prosecute federal crimes. As a matter of that attorney general's opinion, maybe they have a different opinion than the law that Congress passed. We wouldn't tolerate that. We shouldn't tolerate this. And what I've also said to both my colleagues and Democrats is that Congress isn't a court of law. We are, by its very nature, a political entity. And yes, we are setting a precedent here, but you know what's unprecedented? The precedent that's already been set is this national security crisis that is our border. And I don't know how much worse they would want to let it get before we take one of the most powerful tools in our toolkit, and that's to impeach a cabinet officer. I think it was well past time to do that. We should have done it a year ago, and maybe that would send a strong enough signal for the administration to undo the executive orders that they put in place. Biden could do this tomorrow in terms of securing our border if he chose to.
Mayorkas' fate now heads to the Senate. The trial is scheduled for sometime after President's Day, so we'll watch and see what happens. But speaking of the Senate, the senators voting to approve that aid package for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. Mike Johnson, the speaker, appears not willing to bring it to the House floor. The president wants it to happen, though. What do you see happens in the House when it comes to this aid bill?
We've been crystal clear, guys. We have to secure our own border. It's not an either or. That doesn't mean we abandon allies, right? But it is a matter of priorities. And we're hearing from the American people across the board. This isn't some type of Republican-based only issue. We're hearing this blue city mayors, city councils, blue state governors. The entire country is feeling it. And so we have to hold firm. Speaker Johnson is going to stay strong, that our border is our first priority. And by the way, we passed H.R. 2 after we passed an energy independence bill. It was our top priority 9 months ago. And our position has been, Senate, if you don't like that, start from there, amend it, do whatever you need to do and send it back. But instead they sat on it and tried to start and reinvent the wheel. So hey, let's attach H.R. 2 to this supplemental and send it right back.